I wanted to do this video because although I had heard personally from simulation session facilitators that the Sims 1 exam has a very good pass rate, lately from a few people I've been hearing the opposite. This exam, or Simulation Session 1 assessment, in my opinion, was challenging. In this video, we'll go through two good examples of questions you will see often on the exams, as well as how I suggest you prepare for the last day. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Callum Moore here. On this channel I share information that we need to achieve real estate success. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. At any point during the video, check out the description below. I list links to what we discuss, all my recommendations, and how to contact me down there. Let's get into the video. Okay, so just quickly, this video is what to expect with helpful strategies and examples for the Simulation Session 1 exam, but I have a separate video I'll link in the cards here that breaks down the entire week or week-long sessions, so check that out if you haven't already. Okay, so everything on the Sims 1 exam is based off the 4.5 days leading up to the exam. I've heard people say it's more or less what you have already learned through courses 1 through 3, and I do agree to a certain extent. It is all residential, it's not commercial yet, but everything you need to pass the exam you will learn in that week. It's not like you have to go back and restudy the prior courses, or that it's that much information, because if you count all of the modules together on the first 3 courses, we have 36 modules. It's not like all of that information is crammed into one exam, so don't worry. Okay, so I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'll quick mention it again. The exam is 50 questions in total. You can get 12 questions wrong and still pass with a 38 out of 50 and a 76% mark. You will have 3 hours to complete the entire exam, and keep in mind these exam questions are long-worded, scenario-based questions. Okay, so we'll dive into 2 examples of questions you may see on the exams, and then after I'll give you some recommendations of how I handled the last day leading up to the exam and why I found it challenging. Example question 1. Mary is very uncertain about signing a buyer representation agreement. She is concerned that if she signs the document that she will be forced to buy a home. She is mainly concerned about who it protects and asks you, what is a buyer representation agreement used for? You answer, A, it is used to complete the transaction and it cannot be processed without it. B, a BRA is used only when you are in a multiple representation scenario and it helps protect the buyer customer's best interest. C, it is only used in Ontario and is mandatory according to REBA and the Code of Ethics. And D, it is used to protect the buyer as well as the real estate agent representing them. It outlines the scope of work the real estate agent will do for the buyer while giving the buyer reassurance that the real estate agent has their best interest at heart. So these are the type of questions you're going to see. It usually has characters involved and it's usually based around a certain scenario. So we know a buyer representation agreement is not used to complete a transaction, it's not used in multiple representation, and it's not mandatory, so the answer is D. This is also a very good short way to explain what a BRA is to a potential client, so you might want to save that one. Okay, on to the next question. Example question 2. Sarah just started working as a sales representative at ABC Brokerage. She is learning but understands that as a salesperson, she must disclose obligations before the brokerage enters into a multiple representation situation. Which of the following is not an obligation needed to be disclosed? I wanted to do the second example as one of these not questions as well. These questions are brutal and you're going to see them very often. I have another video that I'll link in the cards here of exactly how I handled the not questions. Okay, so possible answers. A, Sarah must disclose if she is representing a buyer and seller or multiple prospective buyers in the same transaction. B, Sarah must describe the services that will be provided and the alternatives available to the potential client or customer. C, Sarah must inform prospective buyers and sellers of the possibility of multiple representation, including a description of the services the brokerage would provide in a multiple representation situation. And D, Sarah must make it clear to prospective buyers and sellers that the brokerage can represent multiple clients in a transaction without all of the potential client's consent in writing to that representation. On these not questions, I always go back through and read every answer and disclude them, because now we have 3 correct answers and we are looking for that one incorrect answer. Sarah must disclose if she is representing a buyer and seller or multiple prospective buyers in the same transaction. Yes, that is correct. gone. Sarah must describe the services that will be provided and the alternatives available to the potential client or customer. Yes, she must, gone. Sarah must inform prospective buyers and sellers of the possibility of multiple representation, including a description of the services the brokerage would provide in a multiple representation situation. Yes, that is also correct, gone. D, Sarah must make it clear to prospective buyers and sellers that the brokerage can represent multiple clients in a transaction without all of the potential clients' consent in writing to that representation. Okay, so we know that we need consent in writing and that it is an obligation to get consent. So what's not an obligation? D is not an obligation as a salesperson. Bit of a double negative happening there, making these questions very confusing, but we're going to see them very often on the exams. So watch my video in the cards, deep breaths, make the right choice. So those examples of questions will get you prepared. Prepare to see 80 to 90% of the questions to be long-worded, scenario-based questions like that. And if you're lucky, you might get 5 to 10 questions that are really short that you can just quick power through. But yes, 40 to 45 of the 50 questions are going to be in that format. Okay, so on to how the last day is going to go and my thoughts and experience. So regardless if you've picked the weekend or the weekday sessions, your last day is going to be from 9 a.m. to noon in class studying, then a 3-hour break, then at 3 p.m., the 3-hour exam. In my opinion, do what I did and reserve brain power on that last day. If you are like a super exam cram person, last day type of person, all good. But if you're anything like me, I do my best work actually in the mornings. So this is honestly what I did. So on that last day, you have a full 3 hours of learning to do, including one still remaining role-playing activity. For those that don't know, you will do role-playing throughout the simulation sessions week or weekend. They will separate you into groups of 3 within the Zoom meeting called breakout rooms, and you will role-play certain scenarios with each other. I actually told my breakout room that I can still help, I can be the observer, I can be the client, but I have to reserve my brain power for this exam. So I actually sat out the salesperson role during this role-playing session just to conserve energy. Everyone was super awesome about it, and then we just chatted and strategized about what's possibly to come on the exam. It's just too long of a day for someone like myself that uses a huge amount of their brain power in the mornings. I do 100% disagree with the format of the last day. If I had it my way, I feel all of the material should be covered for the first 4 days, and then on the 5th day, you just take the exam at 9 a.m. But that's just me. Okay, so I'm gonna suggest this as well. Try to do what I did, and on that last day, between 9 a.m. and noon, try towards maybe the end, towards noon, ask the facilitators what's to come on the exam. Ask for a good refresher of what we're possibly going to see, and even push for it a little bit. If you get 3 people that speak up, they'll probably accommodate you. The facilitators that I had were absolutely awesome people. The 4 I had over the courses of Sims 1 and Sims 2 were not just nice, but they were super nice, great personalities, and even awesome senses of humor. I think we have to understand that I bet you they want to teach us more. They want to teach us more about the logistics and actions and what we're actually going to see out there. But REBA, or soon to be Tressa, compliance is their main concern. If they can make you a safer, honest, and more fair real estate agent, they have succeeded. I really hope that helped, and good luck on the exam. If you have any questions at all, reach out and comment below. I get back to everyone. And if you made it this far, I'm currently putting together my course on the buyer and seller logistics that's already immensely helping people in my downline. If it's there yet, it's going to be the first or second link in the description below, so check that out. Again, my name's Callum Moore, real estate agent here in Ontario. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.